Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Internet Uncapped, and we have a lot to go over today. Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots, Dianna Russini going ahead in allegedly, they're doing the doing with due diligence. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to discuss it here today. I'm joined as always with Bombastic Relish, also known as Evan. How you doing today? Pimp!
I'm doing good. Yeah, we got this Mike Vrabel stuff is not great. Not great, but we will go over everything.
hmm Absolutely. Again, a lot to talk about, and we have some clips to go over. Now, before we go ahead and we discuss anything as far as the current situation, it is only right that we talk about the two people um, involved in this situation. So we have right now Mike Rabel. Now, who is Mike Rabel? Former outside linebacker slash defensive end for Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, and Kansas City Chiefs.
Mhm.
Stopped playing. His last year was 2010 with the Kansas City Chiefs. That was the last time he played in the NFL. Would then go on to start coaching over at Ohio State. Then he would go on to coach for the Houston Texans, then become the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Would later go on to serve 1 year as a I forgot what the exact term, but essentially he was with the Cleveland Browns to sort of assist in more of a overseeing capacity. I forgot exactly what they like. It's like a consultant, if you will.
Mhm.
And now and then he spent his last year was his first year. excuse me, coaching the New England Patriots as the head coach.
Yeah.
His second tenure, again, as a head coach, went to the Super Bowl this past year, lost to the Seattle Seahawks, who, again, won the Super Bowl. But in his first year with the Patriots, 14-3 record, overall 68 wins, 48 losses. That's a 58% win percentage. In the playoffs, he is 5-4, so a little bit over 50% wins for the playoffs. Pretty good. So he has a resume.
Yes.
He has a resume. He's a guy that has been around the league, not just as a player, but as a coach, as someone who is a consultant, etc. And yeah, he's well respected. A lot of people, praise him not only for his playing career, but just how good of a coach he is to his players. He gets a lot of credit for that. Now, Dianna Russini,
Yes.
she's been around for a very, very long time. She was the youngest reporter that was hired by WNBC in New York City. She's bounced around from different, reputable journals and TV channels, etc., which happens a lot.
Mhm.
It's not often you have someone like Stephen A. Smith who stays on ESPN for over 2 decades. And I think you're coming up on 3 decades now.
Mhm.
That's not
Mhm.
something that happens. She was actually a former athlete herself.
Hmm.
So there's that. Recently she was an NFL and she was the a lead NFL insider for The Athletic. Now,
Yes.
when you go ahead and and just to put things into perspective, I've worked in radio for a very long time. I have. I've reached out to different athletes to bring them on. I've talked to people behind the scenes, whether it's on the YouTube side of things or on the sports side of things. I've talked to a lot of different people. Now, with all that being said, when I do talk to these people, um, it's kind of like there's no exchange of money. I'm not made of money like that, but it's more of exchange of goods. And not in that way, but it's more so like, listen, if you come on, do this, I can make sure I can get everything chopped up for you. I can send you the said audio from the program, or I can send it in a video format, depending on how you would like to handle that.
Yeah.
Just honestly being accommodating. Like, what do you need? Do you need like do you need food? Do you need water? Do you need like the equipment? Like, do you need borrow headphones? Whatever the case may be, I've been in that situation before. Dianna Russini was allegedly getting a little bit, you know, doing with due diligence, as we like to say. There was a lot that was going on. And Evan, you have those photos ready, right?
I do have those photos ready. So,
Bring it up.
TMZ and a bunch of other, TMZ mostly. They caught these photos. They were at an adults only resort, I believe, and basically, they this is what they did. And if I can find it, because this stupid setting. Okay, so here we have the photos at the ready. Um, and right here is and actually let me read the caption from this is from Front Office Sports. This is from their Instagram. And it says here photographs of Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel and NFL insider Dianna Russini hanging out at an adults-only Arizona resort were shopped around before they were ultimately published by the New York Post earlier this week. Sources tell FOS. TMZ received a tip about the photos of Vrabel and the senior NFL insider for The Athletic. So as you can see, what is being alleged here is that they're at this resort, they're pretty much by themselves, and they are hugging. Mike Vrabel and her hugging, locking fingers, which that's really the sus part. The hugging is just hugging whatever, right? You see your friend, you get close to people. The finger locking is like, okay, that's a little weird. And then you see they get really close with each other, where they're at the pool just hanging out, having a fun time, having ourselves a party, if you know that reference, and more. So these are the photos that are being sort of shared around, and that's really lit a bit of a fire under Mike Vrabel and her ass in terms of allegations of not so great conduct, especially because they are married to other people.
Yeah, and when you get caught in something like this, no good can come out of this situation.
No.
They both look terrible in this situation. Um, I mean, what more can you say besides that? This is a bad look. That's it. It's just a
It's
bad look.
it's a pretty bad, it's a pretty
Mhm.
bad look for sure. And this has been, and Mitchell, you said that you've covered it on your show on the radio, but this has been going on, this kind of investigation has been going on for what, a month now or something?
Um, uh, maybe okay. So way that we talked about it is this is definitely something that's been going on, and people have been looking at trying to get more information for a month. That's how we put it out
Right. Okay.
because these photos are from April 10th. Tomorrow's the 20th, so that's almost 10 days ago. But something like this, it's not a one-off thing.
Hmm.
This is clearly something that has happened multiple times, right?
Right.
So this is something that the way that we had explained it is if this is something that they did here, this is this is not their first encounter. This is not the first time that they've linked up in a place like this. So someone spilled the beans, and I would say over the past month they were trying to get them in a precarious situation like this to expose Dianna Russini and Mike Vrabel. That's how we put it.
Right. So now if we can freaking unshare. Oh, yeah, so we'll just stop sharing.
Yeah,
Side note, Restream, get your shit together, please. This is so hard to navigate. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, again, Dianna Russini has been around, and she's worked at ESPN, The Athletic, a bunch of these different high sports publications. So she's been able to get linked in with all these different coaches, all these different organizations. And this brings up the situation with Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor, who is um, another female in the sports media world who had a lot of issues where she was going through um, a bunch of different accusations, if you will, of being um, of doing things with
Being
yeah
inappropriate, I guess you'd
yeah,
say.
and there was a lot of allegations towards her, and
Hmm.
it led to her ultimately getting fired. And now with Joy Taylor, it's kind of I think now because of this Joy Taylor situation, this thing with Dianna Russini is getting blown out of proportions way more because of that. And it's something that now, if you're a woman in the sports field, you're going to be linked to those two, unfortunately, because they're women and because of the fact that they and I'm not okay, allegedly, they slept their way to the top. That's how it's going to be viewed. I'm not saying that's how we view it, but that's how it's going to be viewed by the general public. Go, Dianna Russini only got there because she sucked his. Well, Joy Taylor only got there because she put out. That's how it's going to be put forward about these women. And for some people that's mentally taxing, and for some people they don't give a shit. Now it just depends on how they can handle it and what their financial status is. But with Joy Taylor, she's not really a public person.
Yeah.
She's not one to talk about her personal life as much as Dianna Russini. And I have some clips, Evan. I'm going to go ahead. Let's pull up this first one here.
Okay.
And this is her talking about her husband.
You know who lets me know my marriage is falling apart? My mom. So that's good.
Oh, does she?
Oh, yeah.
Really? What did she say?
Walk over here.
What did she say to you?
This is real. Are we doing this right now?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, please do it.
So I said, hey, thank you so much. Kev told me that you stopped by the house. You did oh, yeah. He looks good. He looks really good. I go, yeah. I was like, he doesn't seem as stressed this year. She's like, you know what? I'm starting to think he's got a girlfriend. And you know what? Good for him.
So again, she's I got the clips mixed up. So this is her talking to her mom about her husband. And after everything that's happened with Vrabel, it seems like a little bit of projection. Don't you think? Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
What?
He looks good. He's successful. His wife's never around. You love this football thing.
Uh-oh.
He looks good.
Uh-oh.
I don't fight
mom.
with her. I went right back. I go, why would you say that to me right now while I'm on a trip?
Right.
That my husband has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
boy.
just keeping you on your toes, you know?
That's some crazy foreshadowing right there. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's just not normal.
No.
I mean, I've been in a bunch of relationships, and not once has my mom ever been like, "Oh, you know what? She seemed like she's in the best place in her life right now. She seems like, you know what? She's a real go-getter. It seems like everything for this woman is going great, and you're with her." And you know what? I bet the side piece that she has is treating her better than you. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck says that? Like,
I don't need to be kept on my toes. I need help.
She likes you to be the most vulnerable.
I bet you
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'll play it again one more time.
Excuse me? Huh?
There we go.
Keeping you on your toes, you know? I don't need to be kept on my toes. I need help.
She likes you to be the most vulnerable spot.
It's so messed up.
Across the country.
I'm as far as you can be from New Jersey right now.
Right.
There's nothing I can do.
Yes.
And yet she's out here throwing things in my head.
Right.
Now I'm wondering, I'm like, that one girl in his office is really pretty.
Yes.
Shoot.
You're
this
starting to
makes
think
sense.
of who,
Yeah,
right?
so-
And also, she does this with a cross on her chain. All I'm gonna say is, leave my God out of it, woman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him later.
Are you? That's so
Naked.
nice of you.
Oh yeah, give your husband a call naked. Or is it? That's what she just said. That's what she just said.
That's crazy to even say that on that kind of show. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then we have this next clip here. And this is how people in the sports media field are handling it. And to be fair, they with Joy Taylor, people were trying not to attack her either. They didn't try to attack Joy Taylor. And listen to this next clip here, also about Dianna Russini. But look how they pussyfoot around this.
Well, it's the biggest story in the NFL. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd shoot you straight. These are things that I've been texting with about my friend with my friends in the coaching world. Even their wives are involved in the conversation as well.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. Stay on target. Why?
Stay on target.
What are you talking about?
I don't even know what they're talking about.
What are you
What does
talking
that
about?
mean?
Careful. I'm trying.
So pretty much what he's saying about staying on target is he's trying to navigate, trying to get around this story and not talking about it because clearly he's uncomfortable about this.
But you got to talk about it. So what? You're
So
kind of
this
cucking the
is-
content in that respect.
Yes, and again, these are two. So that's Sims.
Yeah.
Sims. Excuse me, and I think that's Mike Florio. I think it's with Florio. Mike Florio and Chris Sims. So Mike Florio, what he's trying to do, and I respect it. He's not trying. When you do content, any type of content, Mike Florio is the kind of guy. He's not about rumors. He's not about personal life stuff.
Mhm.
He is strictly. He wants to talk X's and O's. He wants to talk what's the news coming out right now with this player. What's going on? He doesn't want to talk about this. He said, she said, bullshit. That's kind of his whole. That's kind of his mantra with this whole thing.
Okay.
He doesn't want to go ahead and talk about this. He wants to, talk about the Patriots. They have the draft coming up. But here we are talking about, Mike Vrabel. He's holding hands. Whoa.
They're in the pool. Whoa.
They're in the pool together. Whoa.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. This is insane.
Yeah.
And, to him, this is kind of, for lack of a better term, it's kind of beneath him. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't think I'm not saying that in a way, again, that's disrespectful. I'm saying it in a way as a guy that's, he's 60 years old or in his 60s. He's been doing this for a very long time. Do you think that like a 60-year-old sports guy wants to cover Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
No, of course not.
Absolutely not. No, he
No.
wants to do a show where he can go ahead and talk about, this is what's going on. This is this is that. He wants to talk sports. If he wanted to talk
Right.
gossip, he would have gone to E! News. He
Yeah.
would have gone to TMZ. No,
Right.
he's NBC Sports.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
I'm trying to. You ever see Star Wars? You
Yeah.
see Star Wars?
Yeah.
As Luke is going down I don't know. I'm not enough of a Star Wars nerd to know all
Right.
the terms, but
Right.
his
believe it's
wingman
TIE
is
fighter.
telling him stay on target.
Right. Right.
I'm just giving you
Putting it in the
I
hole of the
don't-
Death Star.
Look, there's a lot there, and there's only so much that is reported and known, and that's I'm just trying to help.
All right. In Star Wars, did they tell that they have this thing called "shut up" and just let the person talk?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm pissed at you. I'm way less mad at
Tell me that,
the
then read that
what's
line.
his name again?
So the one on the left's Mike Florio. This is
Mike Florio. You're good. Fuck you, guy in the blue shirt. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, he just wants to cover the story. It's hot. This is a guy who's younger than this guy who really just wants to get his career up. Although Chris Sims has been in the game for a while, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's in a position where he's comfortable that he can just say, "I don't care what happens to me." Like Stephen A. Smith can go on TV tomorrow and show his bare ass to America and be like, "This is my ass, America, kiss it."
Right.
And,
See,
and
and
he has
that's
enough
the
money.
difference, Mitchell, is that it's Stephen A. Smith. He is a provocateur, and we know that. I barely know who he
Yeah, but
was.
it's-
I never seen him before. But the
it's
fact
about-
that he disrespected this very long time veteran like that, I mean, he's laughing obviously, so he kind of is
No, that's
playing
just that's
jovially.
banter. It's just banter.
It's
not
banter, and I get it, but also
Yeah.
it doesn't sit right with me, especially in the way that like he's literally trying to like carry it over and say like let's laser focus, let's get it going. And he's like, well, I want to talk about it, so shut up. Like it just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, you're putting too much thought into it. It's just two
I'm really
guys
not,
just
but that's
bantering. You're fine. Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not, but that's fine.
You're welcome. Here we go.
And I think we all do weird things when we're in love, and we overshare and overpost. And
Nope.
look, he's married.
Huh?
He's getting married to a
Wait.
beautiful actress. I'm married to someone average. I don't post a lot about him. If I
Wait,
Married to someone that's average. Okay, this is Dianna Russini talking about her marriage back in 2021.
oh,
I'm married
brother.
to someone average. Ooh.
Wow.
was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too.
If I was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too. Oof.
Now this doesn't.
That is insane. When you're in a relationship, this has always been my sort of thought process. you need to support your significant other no matter what. I don't believe in the whole like bad mouthing your significant other. Like you could talk
No.
about a story where they did something dumb. Like you can do that. That's fine. But you don't go out of your way to shit talk your significant other. You don't do that. Your significant other should be your everything. They should be your person. You shouldn't be going out of your way to disrespect them. I'm going to play it again. So this was the whole clip.
And I think we all do weird things when we're in love, and we overshare and overpost. And look, he's married. He's getting married to a beautiful actress. I'm married to someone average. I don't post a lot about him. If I was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too.
Was this known about her for a while? I know this clip was what, 2021?
Yep.
But was she like saying this stuff on a regular? I feel like this is a pretty common thing that she sort of puts out there about relationships and stuff.
I mean, depending on like what's going on. So, the football season, there's 17 games in a season. There's 18 weeks of the regular season.
Mhm.
Then you have the postseason, and then you have training camp and stuff like that. So once the season is over, from February up until really April, there's some filler time there because it's the NFL draft. Well, there's draft talk, but other than draft talk, there's really nothing going on. So people try to go ahead and try to find filler stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Then once the draft happens, people talk about the draft. They talk about undrafted guys.
Yeah.
They talk about training camp, news from training camp.
Mhm.
Once training, and that's for like the rookie training camp. Once training camp comes around, people start talking about the different things they see at camp, stuff that's going on, whatever. And it kind of gets slow until you get to preseason. Once you get to preseason, that's when everything starts really picking up for not just the news story, but for the fans as well. That's when things actually start to kick off. So
Okay.
during the slow times, it's kind of tough depending on what your show is. Like if you're like Football America, where you strictly talk football, there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to need to do filler. And when they do filler, what they'll tend to do is bring on athletes who may have had a great season to bring in for an interview, or they might go ahead and they might bring in I don't know, a coach, a young and up and coming coach, or a college prospect, or they might just shoot the shit for an episode and just talk about whatever. That's really all that is. So, yeah, it's so I would assume this is probably from moments. A lot of these clips are from moments where she's just trying to talk about her life, just sound relatable, but she just sounds really condescending to her husband. Poor guy.
Yeah. No, she's basically doing a real Anissa move there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like, I'm surprised she didn't tell everyone that he shits his fucking pants. So, like Anissa.
Exactly.
But
it's just weird. It's just like, but why? Like, huh?
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. No.
Clearly, she's just not happy. I mean, if you cheat on your significant other, I feel like people that cheat, it's for one of two reasons.
Yeah.
It's because they're not getting the attention or the affection that they feel like they need in their life, or two, their needs are just not being satisfied, whether that's of a sexual nature or a emotional nature. It could be one of those two things. And you know what? To that, I would say, get a cat in your life. Hey. Yeah, get a cat in your life. That's what you got to do.
Get a cat in your life. Well, I already got one, so yeah.
Exactly. What's up, buddy? So, yeah, that's what you got to do. And Sylvester, friend of the show, obviously. But yeah, I mean, overall, this whole situation is just so strange. I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I just think that it's weird. It's wrong. If you're that unhappy, I always just say, just go get divorced.
Or something. Or better yet, Mitchell, if they were actually like meeting as friends, maybe don't go to a private resort and actually do things that friends would actually do, instead of doing things that are seen as, I don't know, intimate, maybe? I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Now, before we wrap up the show, I want to just go to the current state of play as of now. Dianna Russini, Mike Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
Dianna Russini. Dianna Russini. I'm just gonna. I'm citing here the ESPN article that came out about a day or so ago. But there, Dianna Russini was consulting with a crisis communicator, and they appealed to the Times company chief executive Meredith Kopit Levin about her case. There were internal squabbles at the New York Times and the Athletic, just about the just about everything, whether she be reprimanded or an internal investigation, or I mean, it was a bit of a hot mess. She ended up resigning from the Athletic
Yep, and I have the letter here.
amid an internal investigation into the nature of her relationship with Vrabel. So if you have it up,
Yep.
let's read it. Let's do it.
All right, let's share the screen.
But yeah, that's Dianna, and
Here
we'll
we
get to
go.
Vrabel in a second.
Dianna Russini. Okay, this was on April 14th, 2026. Steven Ginsburg, executive editor, The Athletic. Dear Steven, please accept this letter as my resignation from The Athletic, effective immediately. I have come to this decision with deep sadness, but with clarity about what is right for me, my family, and the work I have spent my career building. You know, I'm going to move the mouse to the side because I keep like stuttering. You and I have already publicly addressed the recent attacks against me, and I have nothing to add publicly to what we have said. I have covered the NFL with professionalism and dedication throughout my career, and I stand behind every story I have ever published. When the page 6 item first appeared, The Athletic supported me unequivocally, expressed confidence in my work, and pride in my journalism. For that, I am grateful. In the days that followed, unfortunately, commentators and various media have engaged in self-feeding speculation that is simply unmoored from facts. I've never heard that word before. Moreover, this media frenzy is hurtling forward without
Like
regard.
moving forward.
Yeah, okay. Without regard for the review process, The Athletic is trying to complete. It continues to escalate, fueled by repeated leaks, and I have no interest in submitting to a public inquiry that has already caused far more damage than I am willing to accept. Rather than allow this to continue, I have decided to step aside now, before my current contract expires on June 30th. I do so not because I am I do so not because I accept the narrative that has been constructed around this episode, but because I refuse to lend it further oxygen or to let it define me or my career. Over a career spanning more than 15 years in sports journalism at NBC, ESPN, and The Athletic, I have built a body of work I am proud of. I have broken stories, earned the trust of sources across the across the leagues, and been guided by the highest standards of professional conduct that record speaks for itself. I remain grateful to the Athletic and for the extraordinary colleagues with whom I have worked there, for the platform it provided, and for the support you showed me during this difficult time. I wish you nothing but continued success. Sincerely, Dianna Russini. This has got to be the dumbest shit ever. She makes it seem like these fucking stories came out of left field. No, they came out when you were in a pool with
Right.
Mike Vrabel being held. Like
Interlocking your fingers in the photo.
Yeah, like this is
Who
creepy.
does that as a journalist? Mitchell, if I go out, if I'm like freaking Clark Kent and I'm doing a story on, I don't know, let's say the Queen of Sheba, let's say, right? As Clark Kent, do you think it makes sense that the Queen of Sheba and I are interlocking fucking fingers? No! I'm supposed to be reporting on shit. I'm supposed to have a professional relationship with the Queen of Sheba, right? Like, That's how it should work. Don't let Superman finger lock with the Queen of Sheba. Again, Queen of Sheba is not a DC property, but you know what I mean.
There's been times where players and media personnel, or just sports figures and media personnel have had good relationships and have done things a certain way.
Of course.
There was a linebacker, I forgot what his name, he played on the Buccaneers, but his brother had passed.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up getting interception, returns it for a touchdown. After the game, media personnel went up to him and they wanted to interview him.
Mhm.
The very first guy who asked him a question said, "Hey," and again, I'm blanking on his name right now. He said, "Hey, you had a great game today. But we want to ask you questions. But are you okay?" And I thought, "Hey, that's a good journalist right there. This
Yeah.
guy just lost his brother.
Yeah.
He said, we want to ask you questions about the game today, but are you mentally there? Are you okay? Do you just need to be with your team and your family, and do you and get out of here?"
Mhm.
And he said he hugged the reporter. He said, "Thank you for asking that. And I appreciate everyone's support. We'll talk tomorrow."
Yeah.
And to
Good.
me, that's the perfect response.
Yeah.
The reporter asked him, "How are you feeling?" And he said, "We'll talk tomorrow." And good on the reporter, good on the player. He didn't say, he didn't like get in his face and like give him a hug and everything, like, "Hey man, I heard what happened. God bless. I'll pray for you." No, he asked him very respectfully, like an adult, "Hey, let's do this." And there are female reporters out there. There are
Of course.
female reporters that go ahead and do something similar.
Yeah.
There was a woman, you know what? I'm going to get it up right now. And Russell Westbrook, who is a fantastic player in his own right. He is loved by many, and a woman said something nice to him after he was getting crapped on by the LeBron media cycle, and it was a good thing to see.
Yeah.
And I'm getting it up right now.
Okay.
And let's full screen that. But look at Russell Westbrook here. So look at his body language. This is Russell Westbrook on the Lakers, who was continually getting ridiculed for the way that the Lakers were playing because they tried to pin it on him. Although LeBron never gets back on defense, but that's Russell Westbrook's fault, apparently. But let's listen to what happens here.
Hi, Russell. First of all, congrats on making the 24,000
Thank you.
points mark. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tonight you used impressive dribbling skills to successfully fake out your opponents multiple times. And in the second quarter, you made a jump shot where your body was turned like 180 degrees away from the basket. It was just an amazing shot. You're always making these spectacular moves within a split second. Do you anticipate doing them, or is it just a second nature to you? Like, do you just not even have to think about it?
The way you explain it, you need to be around more often. I just try to go out and do the best way I can.
Look, let me see if I can get it.
I
Look at the smile.
That's great.
Look at and look how he was before. This is the beginning of the video.
Yeah, he was just kind of whatever.
Yeah, he didn't care, and then he ended.
Yeah,
That's the way I can.
that's good.
Find
Well,
ways to
and
make-
Mitchell, the relationship between a professional and a reporter is sacred.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of reporters and journalists and whatever they may take that for granted. And I'm not saying that about all reporters or journalists. I'm saying that in terms of the media landscape, where people are only looking for clicks, they're only looking for viral moments, they're only looking for kind of gotcha moment. There aren't a lot of genuine moments. There aren't a lot of genuine questions that are being put out there. And I think that is a detriment to the media environment that we know today over the last many decades. And when you have someone who all they care about is the answer, all they care about is how to be a professional in the field and actually try to get something that is somewhat meaningful or maybe even very meaningful. I think that what she did and what I think many other reporters, journalists, whether they be male or female, whether they be of any background, really, I think that she showed a lot of respect to him. I think that she gave him his flowers. She was very factual, straight to the point about the kind of player that he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that he was pinned about his performance during that game on the Lakers.
Well,
but
no, during that part of his career.
during that part of his
Lakers.
career, rather, excuse me. But at the end of the day, I think that it's a good lesson to say that, like, we need more journalists to do that, and less of the clickbait, less of the viral moments, the gotcha moments.
Yeah.
Because again, that kind of relationship, when done correctly, can be very valuable. And unfortunately, Dianna and Mike kind of showed us a grade A example of what
Of too
not to do.
personable. Too personable.
Yeah,
Allegedly,
wait, a little too close, just a little too close, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, no, exactly. It's so, yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. At the end of the day, people need to remember athletes, they are human beings.
That's right.
And, you know, you shouldn't necessarily treat them with kid gloves, but you also shouldn't treat them like garbage either. If someone has a bad game, I think you have the right to say, hey, they have a bad game. But I don't think you should wish death on someone. I don't think you should tell them to, you know, whatever. I don't think you should be like, oh, he should go commit Sudoku. We have to use substitute words. He should go Minecraft himself.
Of course.
It's that's taking it way too far.
Exactly.
And for Dianna Russini, you're married to someone who supports you, who supports your career, and I'm pretty sure that person has a lot of trust instilled in you that you're around these multimillionaires, these multi-billionaires, that you would stay faithful. Like when you went ahead and you got married and you said, hey, till death do us part, and you do this. Huh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Now,
crazy.
as for Mike Vrabel, this is the current state of play under him. So, despite the scandal, and the NFL was asked whether they would investigate Mike Vrabel under the Patriots, and they said that basically they were going to pass on an investigation under Mike Vrabel for a whole variety of reasons. According to the ESPN article, basically it says that Vrabel, let's see, NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy said the league is not reviewing Vrabel's behavior as part of the league's personal conduct policy, which states players, coaches, and executives are required to avoid, quote, conduct detrimental to the integrity of and public confidence of the NFL. And a spokesperson for the Patriots did not respond to a question of whether it would review his relationship with Russini. So they have decided to pass on an internal investigation. Those are the facts as we know them today. This story will probably be developing in the next few days, weeks, maybe even months. But what I will say is this: although the NFL is passing on an investigation, this is just my opinion, but I would not be surprised if the New England Patriots are going to really think about what is going to happen. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. More than likely, Vrabel will not be let go as the coach, but I can't imagine that Robert Kraft is going to somehow let this slide. I think something is going to happen so that something like this won't happen again. I think, consequences of actions, Pimp, and I do think that they may actually end up doing their own internal investigation instead of the NFL.
They're gonna say that they are, and then they're not gonna do anything. It's all gonna be for show.
I mean,
It's gonna be a bunch of BS. It's gonna be they're gonna we did our due diligence and Vrabel didn't do anything wrong. It's gonna be I did nothing wrong. I did everything right.
Right, exactly. So it's like they say they did it, but it's like the NFL. It's like, oh well, we decided we're just going to let it go, and so they're probably going to do the same thing.
The NFL has to put out something about this because
Dianna
Russini is someone who does have some sway within the NFL, and she was reporting on a lot of information about AJ Brown, who is linked to the Patriots. So there is that biased information allegedly getting posted out there. So that's why. But that pretty much wraps up everything that we have to say about this today. Be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications, leave a comment down below. And until next time, everyone, we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.